Mahin Mirza asked, does Dr. Edip Yuksel believe praying 5 times a day? I think he accepts it, but he doesn't feel that that was the primary objective, but he does accept it. You know, people accuse me of being a munkir al hadith, of rejecting hadith. You need to watch my dialogue with Dr. Edip. That is somebody who truly rejects hadith. And you can see the difference. You know, people say, oh, Mufti rejects hadith, is a hadith rejector. I'm not a hadith rejector. And you have to put me side by side and see. Now, I feel that Dr. Edip, it was an amazing dialogue, amazing conversation we had. However, I do feel that, I mean, I don't buy the whole rejecting all hadith. I feel it's the opposite extreme of, you know, you have hadith dogmatists like Salafis, hardcore Salafis and Madkhalis, and how this attitude of hadith, once we have a hadith, nothing else can come in our way, and it doesn't matter if it makes no sense. We should go around killing geckos and killing lizards because it's somehow a reward for us from God, and we're going to get to Jannah by killing lizards, and this kind of absurdities. And then I feel this is the opposite extreme. No hadith ever, it doesn't matter what the hadith says, we will never look at a hadith. You know, I feel that, look, but hadith too, you know, the sunnah, or even the sunnah in essence, I feel that, look, that's you know, we know that many hadith have come down, that they do seem to reflect a reality. So I just feel that, you know, that's not, that doesn't really add up either. So I don't accept that either. Claire saying he really took over, Mufti, he bullied you. No, no, no. Look, he's senior to me in age, senior in having dedicated his life to Islam, even though we disagree. You know, he's a Quran only person, but he still dedicated decades of his life to Islam. And it's not, I disagree with this calling people deviants, calling people they should be like this, they should be. Look, that's their view. It's not my view. I disagree with it. I don't feel it's correct in my understanding. But I don't feel it's my job or anybody's job to be outcasting people from Islam. Now, I feel he had some strange. But anybody who comes on my show, I did present certain. Well, how would you answer this? How would you answer that? But it's not about. You see, I don't. What I'm not trying to do on Mindtrap is call people on and then have a debate with them. See, it's not my style, because I can do that, but what that would just turn into an argument, then, wouldn't it? Because not everybody likes being challenged. So, like, I don't mind being challenged, but some people, they can react impulsively, you see. So that's not my purpose. My purpose is to probe a little, to present counter arguments, but to let them talk. Let people listen to what they have to say, and I will kind of probe it as well. But it's not an interrogation. That's not what it's about. There will be some cross examination along the way. Yeah. So, no, I know you were joking, Claire, but I know some people may genuinely have this question. Uh, Somebody said he wiped the floor with you. You think so? Okay, fair enough. If that's how you feel, I don't feel he did. I don't feel it was a debate anyway. He did ask about, look, you can't. And I agree with many of. You see, this was my thing. I agree with a lot of the problems, the symptoms, but I just don't agree with the solution. See, like he's saying the age of Aisha and so on, and I agree with these things, but I don't feel the solution is to say all hadith are BS. That's not the solution, because I feel that, you know, look, we can see there was a living tradition that did preserve things. How do we know anything? I did say to him, how do we know anything about the Prophet? How do we even know that the Prophet moved to Medina, which was Yathrib? We only know this through the living tradition. You know, it's not in the Quran. It doesn't mention it in the Quran. Like, to reject the living tradition, to reject the Sunnah like this, it doesn't, like, what's the purpose? I don't see that purpose to it. Because anything we actually know about early Islam is only what has been passed down to us by narrations. Yeah. All right. So And the slavery thing didn't really make sense. He said slavery is outlawed in the Quran. I felt that was a huge stretch, huge stretch. I did say to him as well that he asked me, "Oh, the word Rabb can never be accepted." I did say to him, "Well, how would you answer about Yusuf alayhi salam, saying, about وَأَمَّا أَحَدُكُمَا فَيَسْقِي رَبَّهُ خَمْرًا?" And then he did think about that, and he said, "Well," he even says, "Okay, that's a good one." But then he says, "Look, okay, but that's because they believed in pagan gods." But it's evident that in that context, the person was about giving his master, not his pagan master, but his actual master, alcohol to drink, like his kind of. So yeah, I felt that was too much of a stretch. This whole. I feel it's trying to wash everything down. Like I feel, look, let's be real. The Sahaba, the Prophet's lifetime was a warrior lifestyle they lived. Like we have to, they lived in very brutal circumstances. It wasn't, and yet you see what's amazing is the Prophet taught exemplary compassion, despite being from an atmosphere that was very brutal and a warrior lifestyle. You see, so there's no point pretend. You see, this is why I don't pretend that they weren't these kind of hippies that were just walking around all lovey-dovey. They weren't. I mean, and I feel sometimes if we try to present that the Prophet's lifestyle was all wishy-washy and hippie and hey, it's all, everybody's on oxytocin. It's like it's all. It wasn't like that. They were warriors. I mean, they was like the whole atmosphere. The greater Arabia was like lived off a raiding lifestyle. So yeah, so I feel that's an interesting point. But yeah, but that was I really loved the discussion. Even afterwards, Dr. Edip did say to me that, look, oh, I think I I think I cut you off on too many things I shouldn't have, and he said to me, you should have stopped me, you should have cut me off. And I said, look, I said to him, look, these were my actual words. I said to him, you're my senior, yeah. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It doesn't, look, this is not the purpose of these kind of dialogues. It's about bringing a different voice to the platform and saying, well, have a look. Agree, disagree. I disagree with many of the things about, I feel the number 19 thing is a bit overdone. And Rashad Khalifa, I don't really agree with some of it. Obviously, him saying some verses in the Quran too were kind of interpolated and they weren't from the Quran, from Surah Tawbah. I feel is a huge stretch, huge stretch. But yeah, but it was a fascinating conversation. Do check that if you have a chance. Omar says, what is the challenge of the Quran? Is there any parameters? Was it only for people of